And don't forget to order your copy of Football Game Plan's latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths, an excellent book that you can find on our website at footballgameplan.com/books, available in both PDF as well as paperback form. For the Bucs in this ball game, they have to tie up loose ends. If you just go on what you saw last week versus Atlanta, a lot of fumbles, a lot of miscues, a lot of penalties, that can't happen this week versus another very good football team in Pittsburgh. And I would welcome Doug Martin back immediately by handing him the football, getting him involved in the passing game. This is one of their best offensive weapons, and to have him back in the fold should only help out this offense tremendously. And on defense, they have to be able to make those one-on-one tackles in space. The Pittsburgh Steelers have three guys, in my opinion, that are great at making one miss, and that's Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and Marcus Wheaton. They have to make those one-on-one tackles in space, otherwise they'll get gashed for big gains. And for the Steelers in this game, you want to force Mike Glennon to work over the middle of the field. He would love to go down the sideline to those tall targets, and Vincent Jackson and also Mike Evans. Force him to go over the middle of the field where you can make a play on the football, and it has to be constant pressure. He's a guy that tends to hold the football a little bit too long. You can get him on the ground. You can cause forced fumbles and also maybe get tip passes at the line of scrimmage. I would keep that pressure coming downhill at him all game long. Steelers also re-signed James Harrison, so it'll be interesting to see how they utilize him versus the running game. Again, I believe you can still run on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have to get a little bit more stout at the point of attack. They did a sound job last week versus Carolina. Can that carry over this week with the Bucs versus the Bucs? But now that they have Doug Martin back in the fold, I think James Harrison as a run defender could have a huge impact on this game.
This week versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Buccaneers defense definitely has to do a better job in slowing down an offense, more so than what they did last week versus the Atlanta Falcons. I'll show you how they can go cover two man with a strong side twist, try to influence Ben Roethlisberger to throw into a trap defense where you're going to banjo cover the tight end. I'm show you what I'm talking about here. You see we have the tilted nose. We're going to try to get strong side pressure, try to force him to make a quick throw to the tight end, where we're going to banjo cover him with the strong side backer and the Mike backer. And this front almost looks like a Kansas City stacked defense. We have the linebackers stacked inside. So what we're going to do on the weak side, his job is to spy this weak side back. If this back goes here, it's his responsibility. He's manned up on his back. If this guy stays in and block, he is the free blitzer. We're manned up on the outside with the corners. Tight press. They got to throw off that timing immediately. They got to get physical with those guys on the outside. Now, what we're doing, strong side, we're going to run a twist. We're going to have the defensive end go first. His job is to cross the face of this tackle. Boom, going here. We're going to bring the tackle outside, and we're banjo dropping the Sam and the Mike. Again, trying to force a quick throw here, giving the illusion that, okay, we got to get rid of this football quickly because we're going to take this tilted nose and slant him across the face in that strong side A gap. So Ben Roethlisberger is going to see three guys coming strong side, thinking he has to get rid of the football quickly. He's going to see tight coverage on the outside, and we're playing cover two because those two guys are going to drop back. So it's cover two man, weak side dog blitzer. If this guy goes out, he's responsible. He peels back. If he doesn't, he goes and comes. So now you're sending 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, 5 with the defensive end. He's a contained pressure guy. So you have 5 guys getting pressure. You also have the 2 guys combo covering or banjo covering the tight end, playing him inside out, taking away that play with 2 safeties back deep in case these guys get beat off the line. So that's one way Tampa Bay can play better defense this week versus Pittsburgh, who will put a lot of pressure on that pass defense. So they have to go aggressive and try to get Ben Roethlisberger either on the ground or force a bad pass. Here's a great defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers to run on 3rd and medium versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who will probably try to go to one of their bigger targets on the outside. That way it's a 4 under 3 deep zone. It shows cover 3, but really it's cover 1. I'm going to show you what we're talking about here. You see we have the strong safety close to the line of scrimmage, and what he's doing, he has curl out responsibility. The backer will drop curl out. Now we're going to get double A-gap pressure with the defense, with the nose tackle and the 5 technique. And we're going to send the strong side backer out on the outside. We have hook curl responsibility, hook curl. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys underneath. And again, it looks like cover 3, but really it's cover 1. So you're passing those guys off there, squatting, waiting for those guys to come, and you're protected underneath by the backer and the strong safety. Now we're going to run the double A-gap pressure here. We're going to send a nose tackle strong side, bring the 5 tech over to the weak side, and we have the contained pressure coming on the outside with the free safety dropping back deep. You see where it looks like cover 3, but it's really cover 1. You're well protected underneath with 3 backers and a strong safety, and you're getting backer pressure on the outside, front side, which could force a quick throw into the waiting arms of either the backer or the strong safety. So that's how the Pittsburgh Steelers can protect themselves on 3rd and medium versus Tampa Bay, who will try to go underneath to one of those bigger targets on the outside.
The biggest X factor in this game for Tampa Bay will be the play of their linebacking core. They're going to have to do it on both ends of defense this week. The running game as well as the intermediate pass defense has to be on point. If they can't do that, Pittsburgh can have their way with this defense just like Atlanta did last week. So the linebackers, Levante David, Dane Fletcher and company, have to bring their A game versus the Steelers. And for the Steelers in this game, the biggest X factor will be tight end Heath Miller, one of the most underrated players in the game that does a great job on both ends of offense. When you look at what he does in the running game, it's a big reason why Le'Veon Bell has had some success this year. And also in the passing game, this is a matchup nightmare for linebackers. So I'd expect the Steelers to work him in the offense very early and often versus Tampa Bay. Jimmy Giles was a super athletic tight end from 1978 to 1986 during his time with the Buccaneers. Went on to play 13 years in the National Football League, was a 4-time Pro Bowler, and finished his Buc career with over 4,300 yards and 34 touchdowns. Andy Russell seems like the forgotten linebacker on those outstanding Steeler defenses. Here's a guy that was a 7-time Pro Bowler and finished his career with 18 interceptions and was a big reason why the Steelers defense was one of the best in the 70s. I like the Steelers in this game. I like what they're doing offensively. They're mixing it up on the ground as well as in the air. The offensive line is doing a great job in keeping Big Ben well protected. And on the defense side of football, we saw improvements last week in the run defense department. Can that carry over this week versus Tampa? I think it can. So I think they'll knock off the Bucs at home, moving on to 3-1.
What's up, fantasy football fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook for all of your starts, sits, fantasy football notes, news, and tidbits. Tune into our podcast, Football Game Plan Starting Lineup, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on our Football Game Plan Radio Network, which is located at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.
And don't forget to check out Football Game Plan's NFL Wraparound live every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan, where we give you all of our late-minute and last-minute notes, news, and tidbits and thoughts on each and every game on the NFL schedule. And I also want to give a huge shout-out to Steeler fan forums and Buccaneer fan forums for always showing Football Game Plan support.